Welcome. You've now been locked into an episode of Dad Tough. Dad Tough. Bringing you your weekly injection of any and everything dad, husband, and man. So sit back, grab a beer, get rid of that pesky wife and kids, and get ready to dive into fatherhood, marriage, men's health, youth sports, and a bunch more nonsense coming straight to your screen, headphones, and into your hearts. Sometimes being a dad is tough, and sometimes you gotta be tough to be dad. Are you dad tough?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Dad Tough. I am your host, Blake Brown, and I'm super excited to be here. Man, this thing's been a long time coming, and we're here today to drop an episode. The very first one, and I get the honor to do it with one of my good friends and the owner of Men's Wellness of North Alabama, Joshua Rogers.
Oh wow, what intro, man. Appreciate that. Happy to be here. It's an honor.
Yeah, man, it's glad to be here. Or it's good for you to be here, man. I really do. I do really appreciate you being here. Anyway, we're gonna start this thing off right, man. We're gonna do what I call a shot and a story. Okay, so for everybody that's watching that don't know what I'm talking about, okay, I've got my own little personal collection of alcohol from a place called High Ridge Spirit Distillery. It is located here in Florence, Alabama. It is in East Florence, and it is a great place. If you haven't been there, hey, take your wife, take your friends. It's a good place to be, man. They've got live music there all the time. Wednesdays they have open mic night, so if there's something that you want to sing or act out or read, like, check them out. Really good. Like I said, we're gonna start off with a shot of their barrel moonshine. It is 80 proof, and I'm just gonna read the little story here on the back. It says, "Our story at High Ridge Spirits, we bring the barrel to our moonshine." And I love moonshine. I'm from the South. The first legal distilled spirit made in Alabama since Prohibition in 1915. Our handcrafted barrel shine is made from artesian spring waters and a perfect blend of corn, rye, and barley. Expert distilled by artesian shiners, Tim and Tim. Our barrel shine is excellent for sipping or for crafting the perfect cocktail. I'm super excited about this, man. Super excited about this. So we're going to go shot and story.
All right, let's do it.
Down the hatch.
Ooh. That is shine.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, that's moonshine. That's moonshine. It's only 80 proof, though. It's only 80 proof. I've actually got some that's 100 proof, but I'm trying to do a podcast here and not pass out by the time this thing's over with.
Definitely, support your local distillery for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's really good. Really good. But anyways, man, kind of tell a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Joshua Rogers. I'm the owner of Men's Wellness in North Alabama, co-owner. So I'm married. I've been married, first wife, about 7 years or 8, one of the two. Either 7 or 8, one of the two. I've got 2 kids. I have a 5-year-old little girl, and then I have a 7-week-old young male. His name's Marshall Gunnar Rogers. Daughter's Annabelle Rose Rogers. So
awesome.
Yeah, they're in the National Guard as well. So
appreciate your service, man.
That's fun. It's fun most of the time, not all the time.
No, I completely understand that.
Most of the time, pretty good.
Most of the time, yeah. Just most of the time, though. But yeah, guys, this guy, he is the owner, like I said, the co-owner of Men's Wellness in North Alabama. He specializes in things like hormone replacement therapy, ED treatments, and hair restoration, which I think is the perfect first episode for this, because this is called Dad Tough. Okay, and we're going to be talking about dads, we're going to be talking about husbands, and we're going to be talking about fathers. And what better way to start it off as to make sure that your bodies are operating at optimal performance. I have witnessed personally firsthand his work, and I have a lot of good things to say about it. We'll kind of talk about that as we go. But anyway, man, what made you decide to get into men's wellness?
So we just basically saw a need. Kind of a personal story for me is I started out kind of in my late 20s, very, very busy, doing a lot of military things. I was having a lot of fun. I was big into skydiving at the time and just kind of really getting after it. And I started to notice that I had a decrease in performance and just a drive to generally do some of those things. I've always been interested in medicine, so I did some research and started reading, and I found that I was having some fatigue. I was having some decreased sexual drive. I was having non-responsive in the gym. I just kind of was irritable. I kind of felt like an old man. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why do I feel like this? Went and saw my doctor about it, and to be honest with you, I had like a really bad experience at the doctor's office. Objectively at the time, I was in shape, I was young, and everything, and I had a low testosterone. I asked them to run my testosterone, and they ran it. But I really was treated like I was just there trying to get steroids or something, or just trying to want to get big in the gym, and that really generally was not the case. So I went untreated for several years. While I was doing some of my medical training at Fort Sam Houston in Texas, I found a clinic, and they did a really fantastic job with me. And they didn't make me feel bad. They made me feel comfortable. It was a men's centers clinic, and I was like, wow, I mean, if this service needs to be out there, and when I'm done with my training, I'm going to, and get settled, I'm going to open up a clinic, and really, that's what I wanted to do, to just solve a need. And I knew how much better I personally felt with it. I had a increased just general sense of well-being. I did get somewhat better in the gym. I didn't turn into all the fancy bodybuilders or anything.
Right.
Don't have a desire to do that, but my relationship with my wife got better. My performance at work got better, and I just had such a great response from the therapy that right. I was like, well, if I know that if I felt this good, then I'm not the only one, and this is a service that needs to be done, and we need to have a place like this where men can go and not feel judged or looked down on, or just simply just to talk to someone, man to man, which is kind of one of our taglines.
Right. Yeah, man. I think it's great. Like I said, I've personally used Josh. I kind of had a bad experience with my personal doctor too, man. I was feeling like crap. I had no drive, no energy, and I went to my personal doctor, and I was like, man, something's up. And one of my buddies told me I needed to get my testosterone checked. So I was like, well, we'll go get my testosterone checked. So we checked it, and I think my levels were somewhere around 300, and he weighed it off like it was fine. And I left and didn't have a single explanation of why I felt the way I felt. Mm. And one of my buddies, he's like, don't go to your personal doctor. He says, you need to go see someone that specializes in this. And that's when I come and seen you.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so I'm not, primary care doctors they're in there slugging it out. They're in there really trying to make a difference with their patients. And they do a fantastic job. They're more than overworked in their practices, based on how they interact with insurance, and they're triple booked for a 30-minute appointment, and they're just trying to keep people with their blood pressure. They're trying, they're really slugging it out, and they're really doing the best that they can do. But it's difficult for them to really spend the time that we can at our office, and when we specialize in this, so we get to spend more time on a focused topic, and as a result from that, we can give really great results to our patients, just because we have the ability to take the time
right.
That they need, and the extra expertise.
Right. Awesome, man. Say, for people that don't know a whole lot about testosterone, and I didn't know, much myself. I just thought that, in a sense, I was just being a little sissy. But say a man, comes into your office, what are some normal signs that, your testosterone is low?
So everyone has a little bit different signs and symptoms, and some may be more pronounced than others. But in general, what we tend to see is that we see a lot of fatigue. We see weight gain, particularly around the belly. We start to see some insulin resistance. We start to see decreased performance in the gym. The guys are working out really hard, and they're just not responding. And I'm not talking about guys that are trying to bodybuild. I'm just talking about guys that are just trying to go to the gym, and they somehow muster up the strength to go, and then they feel trashed for days later, right? And they're just then they can't recover. They see a decreased sexual drive with their wife, even though that they're happily married. They find their wife attractive, and they just, it sounds great at the end of the day. And they're like, they see a beautiful girl they certainly admire, but it also sounds like a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
Right. So it's like a nap also sounds good, right? And and those are some of the things that we see a whole bunch, related with that is mostly, it's their drive, and they say stuff like, I just feel like an old man. And, there's no reason you need to feel like an old man.
No.
I mean, you may not be able to do what you did when you were 20, but feeling good doesn't have an age. You should feel good forever.
You're absolutely right, man. Like I said, I've witnessed this firsthand. I actually get treatments from him, and I can tell you from a personal experience, it's probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. Best decisions I've ever made in every aspect, man. I now have drive that I used to not have to, man. It wasn't nothing for me to sit in the house all the time playing PlayStation and kind of avoiding the kids a little bit, avoiding the wife, just because, man, I was just too tired. I'd go work 12 hours a day for 14 days straight, and I was just drained. My mental concentration wasn't there. Unless I can't stress the drive, man, and I want to emphasize on that so much, just for the fact that now that I am on the TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, like, man, my drive is through the roof. I wake up in the mornings before my alarm clock, and that used to be a big problem for me. I'd hit snooze 30 different times, and I'd wake up, and it'd take me a good 3 hours even to remotely feel awake. And if I didn't, I'd have to down 5-6 cups of coffee or a couple of energy drinks or a T-bomb, man. But now, I mean, I wake up, I'm in a good mood. I feel driven. My normal day now is I wake up, I drink me a cup of coffee, and I'm out the door.
Right.
My wife, she used to complain, like, man, all you do is just sit and play that game, or you just, you're just not the same person you used to be. And now she's like, you're gone all the time. Like, what are you doing? She's like, I just have that drive, man. That's one thing that's kind of actually helped me a lot with this podcast. Like I said, I have a lot more mental clarity now that I am, found my problem to my, or the solution to my problems. Like I said, it's just that mental clarity. Like, I've been, wholeheartedly into this podcast thing, and I've learned so much through it. Yeah. But I'll get back to me here in just a little bit, man. Kind of explain to everybody what to expect, coming into your office, okay? Setting up an appointment, everything. First of all, I want to say this. Setting up an appointment with this man is the most simplest thing you can do. Okay, you go to www.mens-wellness.com, and it pretty much walks you right through it. It took me 2 minutes to just enter in a couple of information. My appointment was booked, and I got in there really fast. I think within the next day.
Yeah, we try to make it accessible as much as we can. You can book an appointment online with us, or you can call the number and you can get on that way. But what we're trying to do at Men's Wellness, as far as an experience go, is create an environment to where you're able to talk about the problem, right? You're able to talk about the problem. I mean, and you can feel heard. I mean, we spend an hour, minimum an hour with us on the initial interview, and it just takes that long, right? It takes the full hour. We'll do, we'll go through a complete medical history. We'll do a physical exam. We'll draw your blood if we need to, if it's warranted there. And then from there, we'll follow you up on your labs, and then we can talk about a treatment plan as far as that goes. And we believe in tight communication with the patient. How you're feeling makes a big difference on how we dictate treatment. We uncover stuff. I mean, we don't always uncover low testosterone. Sometimes we see all kinds of things. There are a lot of different issues that can be happening, and you might think it's testosterone. That might be part of it, but it might also be something else, right? And we certainly uncover those as well.
Right. I know y'all keep a good check on your thyroids and all that stuff too, because I thought that might have been a problem too.
Yeah, that's hypothyroidism is something we also specialize in as well. So thyroid management is definitely, I think a lot of providers feel uncomfortable with that, and we've done additional training at the clinic, not just me, but the other providers, and we do a great job with that too, for sure.
Oh yeah, no, awesome, man. Getting away from the office visit. There's a lot of men out here that are kind of scared to take testosterone. Just because of some of the things that you hear. But let's kind of go over the side effects a little bit, because I know a lot of people are kind of wondering. That's one thing that kind of kept me from doing it. Is hearing all these side effects you have, like a a shrunken penis, you know.
Right.
But I'm a half glass half full type guy, you know. When it comes to that, I'm like, well, you know, can't get no smaller, you know.
So, I mean, there are unfortunately a lot of there's been some negative attention towards testosterone. You know, you can kind of get into the whys. Personally, I think it has a lot to do with sports, unfortunately. You know, like, for example, like estrogen is not a controlled substance. It's not monitored by any DEA. And, you know, personally, I think it's because it doesn't make you any better at sports.
Right.
You know,
right.
So some of the misconceptions that go along with testosterone replacement therapy is that, yeah, it can make your penis smaller. It doesn't. You know, it just doesn't. It doesn't. You know, so some of the other things that you tend to hear is that it turns you into like a roid rage monster. You know, and that's just not true. There are some people that were initially concerned that it may cause some heart disease and some other things like that. Those studies have been mostly debunked. You know, typically in proper hormone levels, not too high, right? You can definitely get too high, and we don't want anything to do with that. But too high testosterone bad, too low testosterone can also lead to heart disease, right? And increased risk for diabetes. So we do see, you know, in the optimum range, it actually increases cardiac function.
And what is that optimal range?
Well, you know, it's different for everyone, to be honest with you. And generally, guys feel good, you know, in or around 800, you know. But, you know, there's a lot of things that go into that. And, you know, we really stress hard that not everyone's a number, right? So we definitely know what too low is. But where someone feels good at is just going to depend on, you know, where they are, but we also know what too high is, you know, so we don't want, you know, any issues there. And that's why we keep a monitor on it. That's why we check your levels and we make sure you're doing well, because we want to make sure that they're in the optimum range, and symptom resolution is always the goal, right? To make you feel better. And having a nice number is nice to say. It's like a bench press, right? It's cool to say, but it's better just to feel good.
Oh yeah,
so that's
absolutely.
That's really what we go for sure.
Absolutely. Now, say what do you think a good age range is for someone to even start considering the fact that they may have low testosterone?
So a good age range, you know, it's the individual. Like, so for me, I started having symptoms in my late 20s. I mean, that could be from just my genetics, right? It could be from head trauma, right? From hard parachute landings or parachute openings, or just getting bumped around in the military, or football. It could be a lot of things, right? So head injuries definitely have an issue with your testosterone. But, you know, being concerned with testosterone, you know, can start in your 20s. Now, you know, our goal is not to get everyone in their 20s on testosterone, right? So we definitely play a role in that. I mean, the younger you are, the more we try to give you medicines to make your own testosterone work. You know, your own production as best that it can.
Kind of like a natural type thing.
Yeah. So we try to give your body the signal of what it needs to produce as much as it can. As far as the actual exogenous hormone, you know, generally, you know, we want you to be mature enough to make a long-term decision. Right. Because sometimes testosterone can be a lifelong decision. Right. So, you know, generally mid-30s or so and older, you know, is the ideal patient. But like I said, everyone is always different.
Right. Awesome, man. Now, what are some kind of side effects that you can see?
So,
with
like consistent ones?
Yeah, consistent. Yes. One of the most frequent ones you see in your office.
Yeah. So, side effects that go with testosterone replacement therapy, there are an increase in your red blood cells can go up, right? So testosterone can turn on EPO or erythropoietin, and your blood can get a little thick. So sometimes we have to tell you to go get blood, right? So you have to donate some blood. It definitely won't make your penis any smaller, but you will have testicular shrinkage.
Okay,
that's pretty consistent.
So, gentlemen, your nuts will be a little smaller, but hey, you still got your penis. That's all that matters, anyways.
Right. Yeah. So that can happen. You know, if you're interested in having kids in the very near future, you may want to wait, right? Or we can talk about other options with that, because it will likely decrease the sperm count.
Right.
Usually on a reversible basis, but not always. So it's something that we definitely spend time going over.
Okay. I've also heard someone say something about male growing tits.
Yeah, so estrogen, right? So
Yeah.
definitely we check on estrogen for sure. Some people tend to aromatize, right? In medicine we come up with unnecessary fancy words, and aromatization is one of them, which basically just means that you can one of the downstream products of testosterone metabolism is estrogen or estradiol. So getting that out of proportion with your testosterone to your estrogen, yeah, you can have some nipple sensitivity or even growth, right? So estrogen is something we keep a really tight control on. We prefer not to have to do anything with it because estrogen is important to your body. A lot of men don't know that, but you need it, right? You need it for brain health. It's good for cardiac function. It's good for your cholesterol, your good cholesterol. It reduces your chance for Alzheimer's disease and other things. So it's great for sex drive. If you have no estrogen, you will not have any sex drive.
That's one thing I can say, man. This is one thing I can say. Okay, I have never had a problem with my sex drive ever. Like, I've always been raring to go at any minute, at any given time of day. It doesn't matter. So when I first started the TRT, okay, and it finally, it kind of come in effect for me. I noticed it in 2 weeks. Okay. I don't know that if it's because I'm weird, man. Like, okay, when I come into your office, I had my first injection on a Thursday, and I'm really weird about doing things in the middle of a week or at the end of the week. Like my thing is like I like doing things at the beginning of the week. Mm-hmm. The beginning. I mean, this goes for everything. I'm gonna start my diet on Monday. I'm gonna start my diet. I'm gonna start working out on Monday. Monday rolls around, I miss that diet for some reason, or I miss the gym for some reason. Then guess what? We're not gonna start again until next Monday. So it's kind of shitty, but at the same time, that's just the way my mind works. So I reached out. I was like, hey, is it okay if I take this on Sunday night? That way, I kind of get me in a routine where it kind of starts my week off. So I took it on Thursday, and I took it on that Sunday, and man, that week, dude, I was just going, buddy, going. And like I told you about it. I was like, man, it's weird. Like I don't even think about sex now. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's just because I was just so go, and I've had so many different things going on at one time that I really just didn't have time to focus on it or what. But like at that one point in time, like I didn't care about it. And then what did you tell me? You said, just wait. And now that time's kind of went on a little bit, man. It's bad.
Yeah.
Like it's bad. Like I honestly think that I'm gonna have to marry another woman just to be not like a different woman. I mean an extra woman. Right. Just to be able to contain myself, man. Just because now, I mean, literally like a fly will like land on my zipper, and I'm like, oh, now you better not start something you can't finish. I mean, it's crazy. It definitely does. It definitely does ramp up your sex drive, guys. Yeah. So if you have zero desire in sex whatsoever, TRT may be just the thing for you, because I never had a problem with it, and it just made it 10 times worse. Right. But like I said, I'm willing. That's a good side effect, for me. It really is. Like I love that. But like I said, my main thing is just like I said, man, just the focus, the drive I have now. Yeah. Man. Like it's amazing. I honestly, to God, feel like I'm 18, 20 again.
Yeah, it's great.
It's just go, and that's the way I've always been.
Yeah,
it's go ever since I was a teenager. I mean, that was just my thing, man. I always was doing something somewhere with someone, and now I've kind of got that back, man, and I feel great, and it's just gave me a hope for a better or worse, for the future, really, because man, I was in a bad place.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of creeps up on you over time, and then as men, we tend to just deal with stuff, right? Yeah. So a lot's expected of us, dads and stuff. We're just out there getting after it. We're feeding our families. We're working. We're doing the stuff we need to do. We're coaching sports. We're doing everything that we need to do, and taking some time for yourself. Nice. Mm-hmm. Taking some time for yourself, and it isn't really taking care of yourself. It's the same kind of concept of, you put your mask on first on an airplane, right? And you do that so you can take care of everyone else.
Right.
And, your health and your wellness is part of that. If you're feeling like crap all the time, you're not that dad that you have your picture in your mind that you want to be. You're not the husband that you want to be. You're not the son that you want to be. And, your church member or or whatever. You know what I mean? So you're taking some time to really, get yourself sorted out.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's that's just part of becoming the best version of yourself.
Oh yeah, and that's one thing I can contest for, man. Is I, after working 12 hours a day, especially in the heat, or it don't matter anyway, whether it's the heat or the cold or what. Just basically 12 hours a day, because I work 14 days straight, 12 hours, You're guaranteed. But granted, I do get 14 days off a month, so I only work 6 months out of the year. But I mean, even like just working them 14 days, used to, I'd have 14 days off, man. I wouldn't want to do nothing.
Yeah, just rest.
I mean, nothing, just rest. Mm-hmm. And man, it caused problems between me and my wife, and also caused problems between me and my kids too.
Yeah.
And I mean, since being on TRT, and I'm not saying this just because I got his advertisement here up on my wall. Like, I'm not going to advertise for anybody that I do not believe in. I mean, that's just not me. That's not who I am. But honest to God, guys, like, these have really, really, I mean, it's changed my life. Just for the good, man. And my wife sees it, my kids see it, man. I generally enjoy getting out of bed now, and instead of that dreaded alarm clock beeping and beeping and beeping and beeping, and constantly hitting that snooze button. It's like, well, I better get up before I lose my job, type thing.
Right.
Now, as far as now, you do hormone replacement therapy. Okay, that is one thing that you do. And this is the thing, guys. Like, this is a separate episode, but we're gonna have him on here again at another time on Facebook Live. We're gonna be doing a Q&A. So if you have any kind of questions or comments or any kind of worries, man, feel free to. I will let you guys know when it will happen, and feel free to join in, man. You can ask this man anything you want to, and he's straight up. That's one thing that I can say is he's a straight up guy. He's been honest with me from up front. I'll give you an example. Okay, so he does hair restoration. he can get your hair to grow back. Okay, so I go in and we're talking about the TRT and all this stuff, and which is again is testosterone replacement therapy. And we got done talking about that, and then we got done talking about that, and it was time. I was like, well, I'm just gonna see about this hair restoration. I was like, so doc, said, so what about my hair? You get my hair back? He said, oh no, let's see, let's take your hat off. So I take my hat off, and the first thing he said was, oof. And right then I knew. I was like, shit. Yeah. He was like, yeah, you're a little too far gone, buddy. he said I can't work miracles. so tell us a little bit about your hair restoration thing, man. Like what does that insist of? Obviously you can't do this kind of bald. No, I'm not gonna take my hat off.
So who we're kind of looking for with it is the hair restoration types is that testosterone male pattern baldness, right? It goes along with testosterone. So there is an additional concern that someone can say, hey, my hair is going to fall out. And that's not really true. But what is true to say that if you have a genetic predisposition towards hair loss that's hormone sensitive, will it get you there faster? Maybe. It may speed up that process a bit. So what we're looking for is someone that is recognizing either a shedding phase or just noticing some lengthening, here or in the back, the fire patch, those kind of things, and we can identify those and get a lot of that hair to grow back. Okay. So we have a lot of different ways to do that. Now we don't do hair transplant, so if you need a transplant, we'll refer you out for that. Right. But we can do a lot to get thicker in your hairline, increase the density of your hair. But the thing with hair restoration just takes time. Right. Minimum 4 months. Right. Minimum 4 months before you really notice any kind of major changes to your hairline. Yeah.
And righteously, you did say that you could help me in a sense, but I mean, the way I understood it was you'd pretty much have to bottom out my testosterone in a sense, and it's not worth that. I mean, hell, balls to you beautiful. I ain't going back.
There's a lot of women that really prefer it, man.
Oh
they dig the beard and the shaved head. They dig it. So
it's crazy. It's crazy for me, man, because I wear a hat everywhere I go, which I was always like that when I had hair. It's just I just love hats. Yeah. And man, it's crazy because if I ever take my hat off in front of someone that does not know that I have hair, they're just like, oh shit.
I mean, but there's no need to be insecure about it, and we're not necessarily pushing it. I mean, everyone has their own preference and stuff. But if it bothers you, then yeah, we certainly can help out with that.
Roger that. Heck yeah, man. That's something, guys. Like I said, man, if you thinning a little bit, you need a little bit of hair here and there. Just know if it's gone, it's gone, buddy. Like he gonna refer you out to somebody, but like he told me, he can't really work miracles. And like he said, he could help me, but drop my testosterone. That's not worth that to me, man. I said I do. I feel great now, and if hair's my last thing that I'm worried about.
Exactly.
What other things you specialize in?
So one of the other things that we do spend a lot of time in is erectile dysfunction. This is an extremely prevalent problem that is one of the reasons we started the clinic, is because this is an issue that a massive amount of people are having problems with. So at least 30% of guys in their 30s, at least 40% in their 40s, 50 at 50 and 60, and then kind of goes up from there. And that's just of the guys that are willing to take the survey, right? So, and the goal of the clinic is not necessarily it is to fix these issues, but it's always to increase the quality of the relationship, right, with your spouse. That's always the number one goal. To being the best husband that you can be. And the trouble with ED, what tends to happen is it drives a wedge in the relationship. You know what I mean? It drives a wedge in a relationship. The woman thinks that you're out running around on her, right? They think you're cheating on her, and you're not. At least not most of the time.
Can't speak for everybody, guys. There's a couple of you out there, we know.
But generally, no. I mean, normally, they love their wife. They find her attractive. They find her sexy. They want her. They just have a medical problem. It's not working. Right. You go to your primary care. Again, I'm not beating them up. They still have all the tools and the time to deal with it in a significant way. And they give you some pills, and they either work or they don't.
Right.
And once it stops working, your options are, before a clinic like mine was in town, was to, go get an implant with a urologist, which is terrible, right? So there's a lot in between ground there. And the trouble with this is that when your wife or your partner is not feeling that distance, it starts to distance the relationship. You start not wanting to hold her hand anymore. You start wanting to not go on dates or, other things that are going to lead to that sexual encounter, because once you have a full ED failure when the time has come, that is that's with you forever.
Yeah, that just destroys you.
It's the worst case scenario. Most guys would say that, hey, I'd rather be dead than not have sex, right? At least
dude, that's honestly how I feel to this day. Like, I would rather be dead than if I was to lose my penis right now. Just end it. Just end it, because I have nothing else to live for. Absolutely nothing. I love my kids, but it's just not worth it.
Right. So getting that back online is so it's not really treated like an emergency a lot of times, and are you going to die from it? Not necessarily, right? But what does tend to happen is that you turn that into other areas.
It's psychological, man. Definitely. Like depression.
Yeah, you feel less of a man. You can't perform. You start wondering if my wife is going to want to stick around, and those kinds of things. And I like to say, it's not really an emergency, but the 18-wheeler's flipped over on the highway and you're backing up traffic, right? It's an emergency, man. If it's happening to you, it's an emergency. So we are very aggressive with, we throw every non-surgical treatment available, to my knowledge, that actually has research associated with their, at the patient, and I work extremely close with the ED guys to get them back online. And hearing those stories of the guys that have not had any form of erection at all in 2+ years, when they call me and they say, had sex with my wife for the first time, is, they come back in for the treatment, we hug it out. We get really close to them, we hug it out, like, hey, man, that's great, I'm so happy for you. And the wife, they come in, a little taller, they
got that chest bowed out like a Benny Rooster,
they feel really, really
they feel
good.
Like a man again.
Fantastic.
I couldn't imagine not being able to have sex. So guys, if you have any kind of problems in getting it up, man, come see this guy. He works miracles, okay? He works miracles, okay? Honestly, I don't have any problem with ED yet. If I do, I will go see you for sure. But what about things like I know a lot of guys probably have a problem with this, is PE. premature ejaculation. Can you help with things like that?
Sure, definitely. The psychological, there's a few things that can happen with premature ejaculation. Some are psychological and some are physiologic, you know, so trying to determine, you know, what is the cause of what's going on there. The typical way, you know, that you treat that is the first line treatment for that is actually SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, excuse me. So like Prozac or Lexapro or something like that.
Right.
Those aren't. I'm not a huge fan of those, to be honest with you, but they can help with that. But yeah, so identifying the problem and really, kind of working through those issues and getting those fixed is definitely something that's important. You know, having a premature ejaculation is, you know, almost as bad as having it not work at all.
Right. Now, well, let's just clear the air for a minute, okay? Like
what
would you consider premature ejaculation? Like, what is the average time like a male lasts? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'll be honest with you, like I go 2 weeks without it, you might as well call me a 2-pump chump, okay? It's done, it's done, son.
So the average as far as I know is somewhere between 5 and 12 minutes, you know, with 8 being about the average of actual penetration, so about 8 minutes. Unfortunately, most women need 12 most of the time.
Yeah, so guys, if you ain't lasting 12 minutes, you might want to come see this guy. I'm fixing to set up another appointment with him right now.
So, you know, I don't know that there's a definitive clinical definition of premature ejaculation. On a practical sense, it's probably, you know, either before you actually enter or very shortly afterwards, like, you know, a minute or less.
Yeah,
probably something like that.
Yeah, I don't think I got. It's pretty close though. So it's almost borderline sometimes.
So there's actually a lot that you actually can, you know, do to fix that. You know, and we walk through and help you out with that as well. But, you know, yeah, definitely that is a very common concern.
Heck yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, absolutely, man. Because I mean, honestly, admit it, guys. Sex is one of the best things that a man can do.
Definitely.
I enjoy it more than I do anything in this whole wide world. Like that. I mean, I may be messed up in a sense, but I feel like that's the way that I show love.
Yeah.
Like I'm a very physical person, so if I'm not getting it, I feel like I'm not loved. You know, and then that goes into like psychological, like, oh, she, you know.
Yeah, we internalize it too, right?
Oh yeah,
she thinks she's not into me. She's running around or whatever.
Yeah.
We start looking at her waistline and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So we do the same thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, men have just the same problems as women do. They're just a little different on trying to admit it.
Yeah, we're not so good at.
But I'll be the first person to tell you, like, if I don't get it, I ain't happy. I feel like I am not loved.
Yeah. I heard a patient actually yesterday said something really funny. He's like, you know, the thing about getting older, he's in his 60s, late 60s. And he said, the only thing that I've really noticed about getting older is I can go 30 seconds without thinking about sex now.
so I mean, he ain't changed since he was a kid. You know,
they say it's like 7 seconds is the average, is how much we actually think about it, you know, either consciously or unconsciously.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's also crazy how much power women have.
They have no idea
with that.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, they've started wars over it.
Yeah,
there's been men killed over it.
We can't let them figure that out.
No, man, it's crazy. It is. It's crazy to me. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. My wife, she comes in, she's like, you know, well, I'll be like, you want to do it? She's like, nah, I'm too tired. She's like, it'd be nice though if some dishes were washed. You know, I might get it then, boy. I'm in there, I'm scrubbing, boy. I'm sure, you might as well call me Mr. Clean. You know? It is crazy, man, because they'll trade it out. Like, I'll tell you what, we'll do it if you give the baby a bath. Boy, I'm in there scrubbing the hell out.
It's the cleanest baby
bath bomb, bath bomb and everything. But we're ready to go. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Back on track a little bit. Now, I know you're kind of dabbing into maybe extending size or circumference of the male penis? Like, what is?
So there are a few ways that we can do that. The options that we're exploring are non-surgical option, in-office procedures done. For guys, it's pretty difficult to change the length. So we already are really good at restoring function, as far as we tend to get smaller, very unfortunately, as we get older. Right.
So if you guys are a little older, we already know that you have a small penis. It's okay.
So it's definitely probably smaller than when you were when you were in 20.
Definitely.
It tends to there. So we're really good at getting you back to where you were, right? Which anytime we can get any improvement, we're very.
Absolutely.
We're very happy with that.
If I seen a half inch, I'm just like, I'm a new man.
Yeah. So we're already really good at getting you back to kind of your baseline function. We are exploring. There are other providers across the country that are already doing some different in-office type procedures.
Right.
Mostly with some kind of filler product. That goes into the penis itself and changes the circumference. Making it longer is pretty hard to do. There are some things that we're exploring there. We're not currently doing them, but we are currently really good at getting you back to your whatever God gave you.
Right.
We can help get you back with that.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. That's awesome, man. I was kind of hoping to just be the girth of this.
Yeah,
they look like my peckers on TRT.
If we could truly increase the size without surgery, I would. We would be doing okay financially, I think.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. You definitely have my business for sure. I'll be just making it rain.
How much does it cost?
I need to take a second mortgage out on my house. Oh man. Well, like I said, man, it's been a good experience with this guy. Like I said, I've shoot the shit with him. He's not just a doctor. I consider him a friend. It was 100% comfortable. I was 100% comfortable from the rip. You walk in, you're not pressured. You don't feel like you're, just being singled out. Got that just that feeling of like, man, here we go. Because I was always against TRT. Yeah. I really was. I was always against testosterone. I was against taking natural testosterone. And that's the thing, man. Like I said, I go to my doctor and I get tested, and he's like, I'm telling him, like, man, I have no drive. I'm tired. In a sense, I was depressed too. Like mood,
depression.
Man. I would get in these moods where I was just almost like a little crybaby, bitch. I do got a bleep button, by the way.
That's pretty nice.
Seriously, man, I get emotional.
Yeah.
I really would. And that's one thing I have noticed that has changed is I may not be. I feel like I'm not as. I know I'm not as emotional, but I feel like I probably should be a little bit more emotional than when I definitely notice I'm a little bit more direct.
Yeah, direct.
Direct.
That's a good way to say it.
In the way that I handle certain situations, and sometimes it might come off as kind of an asshole. Yeah. In a sense, but I'm really good at talking myself down. I'm really good at thinking about what I'm going to say before I say. But that is one thing I have noticed as far as like a side effect for me. Like I have no problem calling something stupid out. Like that. No, that's just that's just fucking stupid.
Having some tact is always good, but is there a chance that you're going to be more assertive?
Right.
Definitely. Does that go with not just testosterone, but
that's just a male persona. That's just like that alpha male. It's like, sit down, shut up.
But being direct and stuff is kind of part of it. And there's certainly times to be emotional, and there's also plenty of times when it's fine to,
just to be assertive, man. To be that alpha male.
Yeah.
That alpha male, which is I'm guessing where the line comes in on your logo.
Yeah.
It's just to kind of sense
we
that.
worked on that for a while actually, and I have to fortunately and unfortunately credit my wife a lot with that.
Oh yeah.
Some of my original designs, she's like, it's just not, doesn't have enough roar, just not manly. You need to have something that really, that has a very strong persona.
And that's what it is, man. Like the line is the king of the.
I'm not going to say anything, but there are other companies out there that have lines for their hormone replacements, and put theirs up in mine, and you'll see. I didn't even know that at the time when we were making it, but yeah, you'll see that ours is better.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
It's better.
Real quick, guys, I'm fixing to pop in this little ad that we've done. I know we've been talking for a little bit, but we do have an ad from this guy. A little of a commercial. You have to look over the quality a little bit. I'm still learning. I'm still working on it a little bit. But if you guys want to get in contact with Mr. Josh Rogers, then this is the way to do it.
Gentlemen, many times we realize how we're not used to be. We have fatigue, we have weight gain, even if we're dieting and exercising like we're supposed to. And for many men, pills and prescriptions aren't working anymore for their ED. At Men's Wellness of North Alabama, we take the time to hear your concerns and get to the root of the problem, and we offer solutions. Call today for your free consult. Let's talk man to man and fix it. 256-366-2470 or mens-wellness.com.
And I'm going to leave that up there just for a little bit so you can write that number down. If you miss that number, be sure to rewind and get that number. I promise you this guy will definitely take care of you. Before we go any further, though, okay, like, this is my thing. We've done this commercial, and I honestly think that I could have done this a lot better, guys. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna re-record his commercial right now, and what I want you to do is when this is aired, I want you to comment, let me know who did it best. Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Who did it best? Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna give it a try. Okay. Hey guys, Josh Rogers here. Are you tired of your penis not working? Are you tired of having whiskey penis and you don't even drink whiskey? Are you tired of your gas tank and your sex truck being empty? Also, women. Are you tired of your flappers not flapping? That's another thing I wanted to talk about. Like I said, don't forget, go scroll back, leave a comment. Who done it better? Who done it better? But really, honestly, women, they have testosterone issues as well, and that's something that I learned.
Yeah. So something that I didn't expect when we opened up Men's Wellness. I mean, everything about the clinic is concrete countertops. There's wood. We listen to rock and roll. I mean, there's gun paraphernalia, all the stuff, right?
Right.
So, but about half of our patients are women.
Yeah.
And that was something that was really surprising. I mean, the reason for that is we focus so hard on couples. I mean, yes, we want to fix your testosterone. Yes, we want to make you the best version of yourself that you can be. But when we have, particularly with ED, when the wife comes in with the patient, with the man, then I know for sure we're going to get better results.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
We get better results every time. So, and what tends to happen is they say, hey, my husband is doing great. He feels great. He's chasing me around. I can't keep up with this guy anymore. I want to feel good like he does. And, we actually offer some services for women. One of them is hormone replacement therapy. Women have abysmal testosterone levels. I mean, every time I run the labs, or not every time, but if they're symptomatic, I mean, they're very low. Some of them don't even read. Right. They don't even register at all. And people don't realize that women have the same issues that men do, right? They're tired, they're fatigued, they're no interest in sex, and they are, either they're postmenopausal or not gone through menopause, and they have these big time issues, right? So, and they get treated, and it's like they're a different person. And
hold on, we'll stop you right there just for a quick second. I bet every guy that's going to be watching this at this exact point in time has paused it and says, "Hey, babe, come here." Yeah. I want you to listen to this, okay? Right. It's Dad Tough. It's supposed to be about dads, but hey, I need you to listen to this real quick.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, when it's just only natural when sometimes we come from the females that have already been treated from some other clinics, and there's some other clinics that do it well. Wow. And the guy comes in because they just didn't feel comfortable at the clinic that the wife is getting treated, or if she's never been treated and we treat her, and then both couples are suddenly lined up. They have tons of energy. They have all this sexual energy they didn't have.
They have all this sex. You hear that, guys? If you are not getting sex from your wife right now, she may have low testosterone. If she is complaining all the time with those headaches, it may honestly be because she has low testosterone. So while you get yourself checked, do yourself a favor while also doing your wife a favor.
Right.
If you're not getting any, right. Get her checked as well.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't my intent to have females in the clinic, to be honest with you. Right. My wife is also a provider, and she tends to see all the females. But yeah, so we've had a ton of females. I mean, and as a result, we'll be launching the female clinic. Actually, it's called Bella Rose Health and Wellness.
And where's that going in?
That will probably be right next door to us.
Right next door. That's awesome. If you guys do not know where this guy is, he is on Anna Drive. Yeah. Anna Drive, right before you get to Shoals Pediatric. Some of you guys may know that you take your kids there, but it's there to your left, right, or to your right before you get to Shoals Pediatric. Like I said, great place, man. I walked in, felt good. Well, I mean, I still remember sitting down in a chair where we had a table just full of spent ammunition and stuff. And I was like, this dude is a gun-toting man. He's a manly man. Yeah.
I may, or may not be carrying, during work. So.
Right. Oh yeah.
So if you can, hey, just be if you have a firearm, bring it, man. Let me check it out. I mean,
if you're coming to start some shit, just know also he's prepared.
Yeah, we ain't playing, man.
You playing locked and loaded.
Hey, show me, bring what you have, and as long as you're responsible, and just don't shoot me. That's be clear. But yeah, let's have a look. Sometimes we do that.
Heck yeah, man, that's awesome. I say, guys, if you're having any kind of problems whatsoever, come see this guy. Like I said, whether it's a low sex drive, you feel like shit all the time, you just feel like you don't have any kind of drive, unexpected weight gain. I've noticed I've trimmed up a little bit, which I kind of got lazy there for a little bit. Laziness will also kind of like lower your testosterone within itself too.
Yeah.
Because that's my thing. Like I said, man, I just got in this slump, man, where I just felt like I didn't care about nothing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, being active certainly helps, but I mean, you can be active and just be tired too.
And I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, I even started to get, a lot healthier, started going to the gym, and man, I would spin myself out, and I wouldn't go and work out for an hour, and then I felt it for days. Zero energy. None. Like, I felt, I guess in a sense, I felt good because I'd worked out, but like I said, just the aftermath of that, I was just like, man, I'm getting old.
Yeah, I hate that word. Yeah, for sure. But the old man syndrome. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I definitely have a new sense of, I feel like, purpose, man. Yeah. And I hate to keep saying that, but it's true. Like, guys, I'm not gonna sell you on any kind of bullshit. I'm not gonna stand here and say this works, and it wouldn't, but it does. Like, I generally just have this new drive that I haven't had in a long time, and it's all thanks to this man right here. All thanks to this man right here. And I found him scrolling through Facebook, man. I said I went to my doctor's office, and my doctor just kind of waved it off, like, when there was like, hey, I've got this symptom, I feel like crap, I'm tired all the time, I have no drive, no energy, and I was like, I'd like to get my testosterone checked it. Like I said, it was like a low 3, and he said, your testosterone's fine, and just let me go. Yeah. Like, didn't even try to diagnose any of my symptoms. He was just like, no, you got low testosterone, you're good. Didn't hear anything else back from him. Yeah. And then I said, that's when my buddy was like, hey, you need to find you a testosterone specialist. And that's when I got to Googling. And how long have you been open now?
So we've been open coming up on 8. We actually opened really soft opening because COVID happened, right?
And that COVID screwed everything up.
Yeah, it slowed everything down. Initially, we felt like, both me and my wife, we felt like a strong sense of like, all right, well, here we go. You know what I mean? I'm in medicine. I'm young and healthy. Like, it's time to get after it. You know what I mean? We didn't know if we were preparing one of the clinics I work at and I still work at. It was outdoor ICU situation. We didn't know what was going to happen there.
Right.
And I really, dived into that. I personally tested like over 7,000 people in this community, and I work as needed in a few of the hospitals here in town. I don't represent them or anything like that, but I do work there, and we saw patients in the ICU and on the floor and took care of really sick COVID patients and not so sick COVID patients. So kind of once we got a handle on that and the situation kind of stabilized, thank God it wasn't as worse as the predictions. It was still bad. It's a real thing. Help pronounce people dead. We coded people, and and everything, but it wasn't as bad as the predictions, the predictions. And then once that kind of got squared away, then I'm like, all right, well, I feel comfortable that I need to dive into this men's wellness thing. Consequently, if you had COVID, there has been like a low testosterone associated post-COVID syndrome.
Right.
So I don't know how transient that is. It's common for your testosterone to go down quite a bit in an illness, which makes sense. It means you're focused on fighting the infection,
right.
Not reproduction or testosterone. So, but maybe 7 or 8 months is about how long we've been open.
Awesome. Yeah. And I got lucky, man, because like I said, dude, just about everybody around was booked up. I was looking for like Athens and stuff, and just so happened, man, like I scrolled up on you and I found that opening like the next day. Yeah. The next day. And I said, man, it changed my life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It did, man. It changed my life. Honestly, I have you to thank for that.
Yeah.
I can't thank my personal doctor for it because
hey, I'm not
talking crap about it. Yeah. I'm not talking crap about him. He has helped me in a lot of other situations. Yeah. But as far as my vitality, like my youth, like I definitely got you to thank for that for sure. Now, what kind of before we get off here, we're rounding around an hour here. Before we get off here, what are I'm sure everybody would probably be wondering kind of price range, because a lot of people think that testosterone, is pretty expensive, and honestly, I can say from experience, from personal experience, is that I get a 10-week supply, 10-week supply for $38.
Right. Yeah.
$38, and that's without insurance. It actually costs more with insurance.
Yeah.
I go to Publix. I use the little Good RX coupon. It gives me a 10-week supply for $38.
Yeah. So it's really not the testosterone itself is not that expensive. Fortunately, we don't accept insurance at the clinic, and one of the reasons that we don't accept insurance at the clinic is not that we don't want you to use your insurance. It's just we don't work for the insurance company.
Right.
And unfortunately in medicine, like we already talked about, most doctors get their checks from the insurance companies.
Right.
It's not their copay that they're collecting. Maybe a little bit, but they're mostly getting paid from insurance companies. Insurance companies are not doctors. Right. They're not healthcare people. They're business people and I'm not talking bad about them. Well, I am a little bit, but
yeah. just a little bit. It's okay.
But the thing is, every healthcare provider on the planet right now is frustrated that they work for the insurance companies and they dictate the treatment that they give, and we don't like that. I love the idea that I can spend an hour with the patient, right? So we don't take insurance. It's not. We try to make it as affordable as we possibly can. We're certainly at least a third cheaper than what you'll get anywhere in Huntsville or otherwise. We do our best to make that as available as we can. But so to provide that service, because we really look at this as a community outreach. At nighttime, hey, I'm no perfect guy, but when we pray at nighttime, we pray that, hey, to bless the business, because we're trying to enhance the community's quality of health and their relationships. So we do our best to do it. But as a result of that, since we don't work for the insurance company, we can accomplish a lot more. I don't need to do a lot of the things that the doctor's office would have to do. I'm not saying they do or they don't, but to collect the copay, right? So we can take better care, more direct care, more convenient care, for you,
right?
Without having to interact with the insurance company. So the pricing is, there's a very relatively small setup fee. Then we charge a management fee, either billed out monthly or quarterly, that way. But we do try to make that as affordable as we can.
Oh yeah, and it's extremely affordable, guys. It really is. I promise you that I'm a tightwad. I really am. That's my wife. I'm a tightwad. But it is very minimum cost. It is worth it for the feeling that you get, and from the, like I said, the good positive side effects you get from it. I'd give you $1,000 a month if I had it. Just to feel this good.
We don't charge that much.
No, it's nowhere near that. Nowhere near that
for
much.
For most people, it's you spend more going out to the bar one night.
Oh no, absolutely.
For most people.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, man. For what I pay a month, man, I mean, it's like I said, it's very minimum. Like, yeah, I spend almost more than that eating out with, like I said, with my wife and kid, and that's one kid. Not when I have two. I mean, I've definitely spent a lot more on my family paying than what the cost is.
I mean, we also have a veterans program too. We find that veterans tend to have lower depressed levels of testosterone due to their military service, their head trauma and their other things that they go through. So we definitely have a veterans program, especially with COVID, particularly our nurses, both in the community and abroad, have really stepped up in ways that, other providers don't have to do. When I go see a patient, let's say a COVID patient or something in the ICU, well, I go see that patient, but I may only be in there half an hour.
Right.
The nurses there 12 straight hours. And they're half of them are pregnant, and they just were fantastic. So we really try to take care of them whenever we can, for sure.
Roger that, man. That's good. So hear that, guys. If you got if you're a veteran, they got discounts. Yeah. They got discounts, and who knows? You may go in there and say that you heard about it from Dad Tough, and they might give you a Dad Tough discount. A Dad Tough discount. Hey, it might be a thing. You never know.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. That's right. But anyway, guys, I said, Josh Rogers, I really do appreciate you guys tuning into this episode. I said, if you are interested, and I promise you guys, you will feel so much better if you at least go talk to this man. Like I said, he's not going to pressure you into anything.
And we don't charge for the consult itself. I mean, you can leave your wallet at home. Just bring your insurance card for the labs. If you have it, if you don't, we have special pricing negotiated with a few of the labs to make that affordable. But it's been a lot of fun, and I really hope that you submit some questions. I'll do my best to answer those. He mentioned a live question and answer.
We're probably going to do that a week after this episode drops, which is going to be June the 21st. So we're actually recording this a couple of weeks before drop date.
It'll be really fun, really fun to kind of interact with everyone and answer the questions.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of guys that's got a lot of questions.
Hey, that I get all kinds, and
like I said, hey, bring your wives, man. Bring your wives, guys. If they have any kind of issues, it don't even necessarily have to be sexual. I mean, like I said, same symptoms. A woman has same symptoms as a man does when they have low testosterone. Their testosterone levels are just a lot lower than what a man's supposed to have.
Right.
So if they're having any of those kind of issues, if you got Karen for a wife that just is constantly just giving you hell and just won't leave you alone, just all the time complaining, hey, get this guy a call. He may be able to help you guys out. I know that from personal experience, this has saved my marriage. I mean, just the person that's turned me into, because like I said, I used to be kind of a lazy ass, and it just didn't really do much and didn't really, didn't care. But as I said, man, I finally got my youth back. I feel great. And I want you guys to feel great too. So like I said, reach out to this guy. It's a free consult. Yeah. Free. Like he said, leave your money at home. Leave your wallet at home. Come talk to this guy. Yeah. He may be the answer to a lot of your problems.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, we're always honored to have you as a patient. And if we can help you, fantastic. If not, that's okay too. I just would encourage you just to spend some time, invest in yourself. You don't need to feel guilty about taking some time for yourself and doing something for yourself. I think a lot of times for fathers, we don't do that. Right. We just don't. Sometimes we just feel like production machines, and we manufacture money for the family, right?
Oh no, absolutely.
I felt like that, and you may have too. But there's nothing wrong with investing some time into yourself and getting yourself squared away so you can be a better father,
a better husband, and a better man. That's the thing, guys. How can you be that if your body is not operating at optimal performance? And I can honestly say my body is probably operating at a little bit more than optimal, and it feels great, guys. Like I said, I haven't felt this good in a really long time. And like I said, it's thanks to this guy. Like I said, guys, it's a free consult. You're not out anything. I said, go online. What's the website?
It's www.mens-wellness.com.
Takes 2 minutes, if that.
Yeah, you can book directly there.
Oh yeah, it's very simple, very simple. And go ahead and give them that phone number one more time.
Yeah, it's 256-366-2470.
I said, guys, it's free. Get your wives in there. Like I said, them flappers will quit flapping. He may be the solution to your problem, guys.
I'm not really sure what the flapper actually means, but it's funny.
Man, try to keep it as clean as possible. I'm sure a lot of other guys kind of get my drift. Okay. I've got a sponsor, guys, and that's another thing, guys. I also, if you're interested in Dad Tough t-shirts and Dad Tough hats, message me, send me a message on my personal Facebook page at Blake Brown, or send it to me on my Dad Tough podcast page. If you're interested, I'll be able to hook you up with shirts, a couple hats, and that's all thanks to Full Court Press. Kelly, man, he's a great guy. A lot of people around here know him. He's a great guy. He helps out the community, and he does an amazing job on shirts. And if you guys need any kind of work done, I promise you he's your man at a very, very affordable price. But anyway, I think we're going to call it.
All right,
I think we're going to call it. Hey, guys, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Like I said, if you like the video, please feel free to like and share this video. And also like and share my podcast page on Facebook, Dad Tough Podcast. Well, all right, guys, we appreciate it. So next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Dad Tough. If you liked the episode, don't forget to like and follow the Dad Tough Podcast on Facebook and YouTube. You can also listen to every episode on all major platforms. Have an interest in being on the show or want advertising? Reach out by email at dadtoughpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, guys, stay Dad Tough.